talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe, Roger to go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He gets shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a woozy. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it off to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my favorite money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.
What do we say, Dolph?
That's right, they gotta play us. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the show. This is an early edition, morning edition of Sports with Strawberry Ice. Do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button, smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,275 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Now, we have James Rapien on, who I am very excited to have him on. James used to come on the show a lot. He's gotten really busy because he's a new father. He's all over the place. He's a very popular man. So we had to come on at 11 o'clock. I'm very happy that James is able to join the show. So if you have a question you'd like to ask James, give me a super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down here. It's the Ice Cave. The Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And you know it, I wear it every single day. I got the new hat on, got a new shirt. You can get all the merchandise at jackpotjoey9.com. James has got a hat. I've seen him wear it a couple times. Remember, portions of proceed go to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund. We got the beer coming back out soon. That's not at the website. That's at Brink Brewery. And hopefully it'll be at local distributors here in the next coming weeks. But like I said, all of it, our portion of the proceeds for all this stuff goes to the Joe Burrow Foundation and the Joe Burrow Fund. What's up to the chat crew? We only got 2 people in there. Stranger, you must not have a job because you're always commenting on all our shows, and I appreciate it. Andrew, what is going on? Glad you guys are here. Let's get to the reason that we are starting the show so early. And I'm very excited, like I said, to have him on. He's locked on Bengals, all Bengals. He used to be on ESPN 1530. He started Cincy 360. He's a new dad, so make sure you congratulate him because I know he ain't getting a whole lot of sleep. He's another James Rapien. James, my boy, what's going on, brother?
Ice man, how you doing?
Good, man. Long time no see.
I know it's been a while. You ready? Camp is a week away. It's
Dude,
official.
you know I'm ready. I can't wait. I got my tickets for the Welcome Back, which is next Saturday. Wednesday's practice, so I'll most likely be up on the bridge waving at you and taking pictures of you or something. So
taking pictures. Oh.
Well, I can't take. They won't let me take pictures anymore. People keep asking me where my Bengals Bridge Crew video is, and they won't let me do it anymore. So I can't.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I got told not to anymore. So I'll just be up there and just watching and giving people my opinion of what I see, I guess. Anyway, I like going up there. It's fun. But I'm excited. Are you excited? We got new defense. We got Miles Murphy. We got Joe Mixon's contract finally is done, restructured. I mean, what's the story you're looking forward to covering at first at the beginning of training camp?
Yeah, it's certainly excited. I think the biggest thing, and it's something we really tried to hammer on our latest episode of Locked On, but or 2 episodes ago now, it's Joe Burrow.
Yep.
And the fact that, knock on wood, whatever you want to knock on.
Yeah, I'm with you.
This is the first off season where he can just go into camp and be a quarterback and not have to worry about COVID like he did as a rookie and meeting his teammates at camp in person for the first time, or recovering from a torn ACL, or the appendectomy last year. He was in great shape last year. Right. And I thought he was, exactly where he needed to be. And then the appendectomy happened and he was playing catch up for a lot of that first month. And I think, honestly, the first couple of months of the season. So we know about the offensive line. I'm sure you'll ask me about all of those things. But to me, we know the Bengals are here. The main reason is number 9. Can he just have a normal offseason? So far, the craziest thing that happened to him this offseason, I think, was the all-white party with Michael Rubin. Which, I think he'll take all day long.
You were invited to that? I mean, I can't believe you didn't make the guest list.
No, I had some other obligations. He reached out, and I was like, I set James Harden in my place. So another James went. More James. Disgruntled, unhappy James.
But yeah, I mean, so I kind of titled the show, Can Joe Burrow get any better? Which I kind of think obviously he can. And like you just said, knock on wood, he doesn't get hurt. We don't have a pandemic. He doesn't have an appendectomy. He has a normal offseason so far. How much better will that be for him to improve upon what he's already done? Which, again, I think he can get even better. And I think Joe thinks he can get better because he's already gotten bigger and stronger. He went from Jackpot Joey. He's Jacked Pop Joey now.
Yeah, he is. And I think that's it now. He's the smartest quarterback in the NFL. There's no more Tom Brady. I can say that. I don't even have to think twice. I think he's, from a football standpoint, there is no one on Joe Burrow's level. Reading the X's and O's, reading the defense, processing in the moment. No one. Patrick Mahomes can watch film all day long. He is not catching Joe Burrow in that department. And that's one of his superpowers. And so when you have that, you see what you've seen over the past couple of years, but now he gets to refine the little things, which is getting comfortable play action wise. The offensive line certainly comes into play there, but I think that's a point of emphasis, certainly was this offseason for Burrow, for this offense. And then the other thing that I noticed during the offseason program was the different arm angles he was using.
Right.
And if you remember last year, there were some batted passes, and it was frustrating because how much they had to rely on the quick game. Hopefully they don't have to rely on quick passes as much. They're going to throw the ball a ton. And so when you have Joe Burrow working on different arm angles, I'm curious to see how much that continues in camp and how comfortable he is with that. Because if he can be as accurate as he is, but doing it from different arm angles, that's just another step forward. So those are a couple of the things. And then the other one would just be the Ravens in general. That Ravens defense certainly gave the Bengals offense some problems last year. And we saw it at the end of last season, even when they were rolling. They had to kind of scrape things together to get past the Ravens back-to-back weeks. I think Joe's going to have a solution for that. So I think they'll just take some steps forward in like the 2 high safety looks and things like that. I don't think that's going to be an issue like it was last year.
Now, this is one thing that I've said, and then this is just me thinking this. The Bengals have not said this at all or anything, but I think they're going to do a more of a conscious effort to get off to a better start this year, to get off to, a 3-0 start, a 5-0 start, something like that, to get that number 1 seed, to make sure that Kansas City has to come to the jungle and play this year. Do you think that's an emphasis the Bengals are trying to do this year? Not that they had a bad start last year, but it wasn't great, but they had to go on. They had
a bad start. 0-2 is unacceptable.
True.
And last year, it had to do with appendectomy. If he doesn't have that, and Clark Harris doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I should blame Clark. Clark's fault they lost.
but that's what it took, right? It took like the ugliest game ever for the Bengals to lose to the Steelers in that opening week.
Right.
And then they go to Dallas, and it's just a tough matchup where they just
the offensive line
was struggling. Yeah. And so I think when people say that they need to get off to a better start, that they automatically assume the Bengals need to play guys in the preseason. I don't think they will. And I'm going to defend Zach Taylor when they don't, because I just need you healthy.
Right.
They're returning 4 starters on the offensive line, most likely. Jonah's switching
it's not
spots.
a whole new line like it was last year. It's only one
The
guy.
interior is the exact same, no doubt. Orlando Brown Jr., he's proven, seasoned. This isn't, Cordell Volson going out there for the first time. And so I think when I look at it that way, it's like, all right, so the line will be fine. The skill guys.
All right.
Joe's going to want some reps. I think he'll get a few. But I think they're still going to prioritize health.
Right.
And going into week 1 in Cleveland healthy. And if they can do that, I think they're going to feel fine about getting off to a quality start. So we'll see. But I agree with you. I think they have to get off to a good start if they're going to push for that number 1 seed. And I don't know if that should be the bar necessarily. Like if you end up with 13 wins and you get the 2 seed, that's still a hell of a season.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are expecting them to be right there in the mix for that number 1 seed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just tired of going, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care what people say. I'm tired of going to Burrowhead and playing the game there. I like to play it here. But, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think they're going to play pretty much any of the starters. Zach's going to do the same thing he's been doing because we plan on playing 2021 games again, this year. And it's worked. I mean, we went to the Super Bowl. We went to the AFC Championship game. The problem with the offensive line last year is they had so many new guys. You basically got Jonah Williams going from right to left, and you got Zeus left tackle now. Now, I said this when they got Zeus. First of all, he's the biggest damn human I've ever seen in my life. I met him down at the Holy Grail about 2 months ago. I'm 6'3", he's 6'8". He's towering over me. So there's not too many people make me feel short, but he does. But with the addition of him and Jonah moving back, I think actually Jonah Williams might actually play better at right tackle. Now, he's got to be healthy with his knees. What's your opinion on that? Is right tackle a better fit for Jonah, or is it just the overall offensive line is going to be better in general because we have a Zeus over there?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I go back to last year. Let's just go a year ago.
Right.
When we were talking about the offensive line, not one person, 0 people were talking about how big of a liability Jonah was. Mm-hmm. No one was concerned about him. And he had his flaws then, too. There's no doubt about it. He had his flaws. He had struggled against some of these elite pass rushers in the AFC North, which there are a lot of them. And so his switch now to right tackle, I think it is going to help. And it's going to help for a few reasons. One, you line up next to Alex Kappa, who was by far their best lineman last year. In my eyes, I think he was their best.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that, yeah.
And he was steady and he was consistent. And so that's part of it. The other part is, man, you back someone into a corner like Jonah, who has worked his tail off from day one, who has faced some adversity and has every incentive, every motivation in the world to show everyone that he can play right tackle at a high level. I think he's going to respond the right way. And I think he has. And based on who I've talked to, on and off the record, he has. So I think that it's a good sign. He's going to take to that move. Now we need to see it. He needs to show it in practice, and during those joint practice, one joint practice against the Packers, we need to see it. But I do think he's at least penciled in to that starting right tackle job, and it would take a major upset for him not to be that day 1 starter.
Now, one thing that I keep saying, and some people say I'm crazy for this, but he's not going to be ready for the season. People are saying I'm crazy about that. I think they're going to put him on the PUP list, and I think they're going to keep him. I mean, unless somebody you keep him. If some team gets injured and they need a right tackle, then you might trade him. But James, I look at it this way: the last 2 years, our offensive line has not been healthy. It wasn't healthy in the Super Bowl. It wasn't healthy last year. If you have a backup like La'el Collins that can play either tackle position, probably right. I don't know if he can play left. He can play right tackle. He can play either guard position. That's a good insurance to have, and he doesn't cost you a ton of money to keep him. Am I crazy for wanting to keep him? And if you put him on the line as your swing tackle, dude, that goal line, offensive line there would be unbelievable.
Yeah, I would keep him too. And I would keep him because let's just say he's not ready for the start of the season. If he's ready for the start of the season and can push Jonah, great. Sign me up. Hopefully he's on the field next week, fully cleared and ready to go. I think that's unrealistic considering he had surgery in January. Maybe I'm crazy. It was so late in the season.
Well, Trey Hopkins did that, and he's out of the league now too. That's what I kind of compare it to. It didn't help him.
Yeah, it didn't. And Lel's obviously more talented, I would say.
Yes.
At the same time, he dealt with plenty of injuries in
Mhm.
recent years and played through them last year for most of it until Christmas Eve. I say you keep him because it would inject a hopefully healthy by midseason
Right.
offensive lineman into that room that could go out there, boom, right now and start, and you feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they probably win in Kansas City if one of Kappa or
Yes.
Collins is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
One of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were down 3 starters. I
Mhm.
think that having that type of depth makes sense, especially if you can make it work. And that's why the Joe Mixon contract is such a big deal.
Right.
Because now it takes the pressure off of them as they look at these other extensions, and you don't necessarily have to get rid of what some would deem as a luxury item in a veteran like La'el Collins. So we'll see where his health is. I know he's progressing well. I know he was in Cincinnati earlier this month. Obviously, he'll be back next week if he's not in town right now, but he was rehabbing, working hard. And so what a luxury it would be. Now, I don't think they would move him to left tackle, but here's the beauty of Jonah. Let's say Orlando Brown had to miss some snaps for whatever reason. Right. Jonah can go right back to left tackle and La'el can play right.
Yep.
And it's that simple. And so I think, and that doesn't mean Jackson Carman can't be a swing tackle, even though he's taking a lot of reps on the right side too. They obviously have Cody Ford. Like, they have depth there. And
That's
so it would be nice, certainly, to have La'el, because he's better when healthy than Jackson Carman. He's better when healthy than a lot of these guys. And heck, he would rival Jonah. Like, if it's fully healthy La'el, which I think is unrealistic to say, but fully healthy La'el at his peak, even a few years ago, is better than what we've seen from Jonah at the NFL level. I just think it's unrealistic that at 30 years old, coming off of the ACL, that you can expect that from La'el this year, which is why you put him on the PUP list potentially and bring him back midseason.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think they're going to do. Because, I mean, like you said, I agree with what you're saying. It's unrealistic he'll be ready for the season, and that's kind of that's what getting Orlando Brown does for the Bengals. You can move Jonah over. You don't have to hurry up and rush La'el back. You know, if they didn't, God forbid, go get, because we want to get him a right tackle is what we all thought they were going to get. God forbid it didn't happen. Then you're stuck with, La'el's got to come back. We have the luxury of he can take his time. He can get back. We have Cody Ford. We have the most depth on this offensive line that I can remember in, God, I don't know, 2015 or before that. I mean, I don't remember this much of a depth in offensive line, which is what we needed.
Yeah, 2015 is the year that comes to mind for me. And if you give Burrow that, good luck.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of all of this. You had Orlando Brown Jr. Jonah was upset, and Jonah took a lot of criticism. Fine, you're upset. He had no leverage. It's a guaranteed contract. The Bengals can't move you, and, and vice versa. He has all the motivation in the world. It's kind of like Mixon now. Mixon knows he's going to be here and has to earn that 2024 payday. Well, so does Jonah.
Right.
And so I expect both guys to play at a really, really high level. And so where's the weak link? It's not Kappa. I just said he's the best lineman that they've had, or that they had last year. Ted Karras, we know how honestly sneaky good he was last year.
Yep.
And it's sneaky because when you mention Ted Karras, people say how fun he is, how likable he is, obviously the Cincy hats and everything like that, which all great stuff. He's also a hell of a football player.
Yes, he is.
And that almost gets buried at times.
that is funny. That's the first thing people say. Oh, he's such a great guy. He is, which he is. I've met him.
And I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it too. But like, man, what an upgrade it was to have him at center. And you expect that again this year. And then Cordell Volson. Look, man, I know that there's like differing opinions on Cordell Volson. The dude went from North Dakota State
Division II
to playing the most snaps in that room last year.
Yep.
And starting every game. And it was out there and battled and had to deal with Cam Hayward and had to deal with these big, tough interior pass rushers and defensive line. I think he's going to take a big leap forward.
Yep.
And maybe that isn't ever, he doesn't ever reach his, Pro Bowl level. But having Orlando Brown Jr. next to him, I think that's going to stabilize things because they're just two huge dudes.
Oh, yes, they are.
And so this offensive line, I don't really have many questions about it. I think they're going to be really darn good. My expectation for them is high, and I don't think they would want it any other way.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Ted Karras has done nothing but praise Cordell Wilson. Absolutely praise. He loves the guy. And that's one thing people kept coming at me and say, well, maybe we put Lyle Collins at guard. I'm like, why is everybody so against Cordell Wilson? I mean, he did not have a bad year. He played good. He was a rookie coming out of Division II college. I don't understand all the worry about it. I mean, I want Lyle as a backup. Cordell Wilson is a very good guard, and he's our future. I mean, you actually have a legit starting guard that you're not going to have to do anything with for the next, 3 years at least till his contract's up. So, I mean, I don't understand that. But let's get good.
And it would be nice for them, just quickly, to have some homegrown offensive line talent.
Yes.
Because they're spending a lot of money in that room. So hopefully Cordell can take a step.
Absolutely. Now, we brought up the Joe Mixon contract, and we've been talking about all summer that, are they going to cut him? Or are they going to restructure him? I mean, it got to the point where, I was like, they're either going to cut him or they're going to restructure. They got to do one of the two. They can't pay him $12 million a year. Well, they can, but that would be stupid. Nobody does that in the NFL. I mean, look at all the running backs that are out there right now.
What do you mean? He was a steal at that number. What are you talking about?
Right. He right now where he's at is perfect. And I think that's shows what kind of a person he is, teammate he is, of what he wants. He wants to win a Super Bowl. That to me, that's more important to him than the money, which, I mean, like you said, he's kind of boxed in the corner. If they cut him, he's not going to get the money. That's what I was kind of talking to Corey Dillon about this yesterday on my show. He wasn't going to get the money that he was already signed a contract, which sucks. I mean, he would sign a contract, supposed to get the money. He wasn't going to get it. If they cut him, nobody's going to pay him that money. Yeah. But for him to restructure the contract and want to stay here and want to get that ring, that just tells you what kind of a teammate he is. And just the way the guys are in that room, that's what their thing is this year. I don't want to say Super Bowl bust because they're not saying that, but I think it is for them.
Yeah, I think that's hard to say, that part of it, but the Mixon, the expectations are as high as they've ever been going into a season in team history. So I can say that, right? And part of it is we're asking them to win the AFC North for a third straight year. No team has done that. Ben Roethlisberger never did that. The Ravens, as good as they've been, they've never done that. The Browns haven't even won the division. So it's a lot to ask, and yet I think it's reasonable. And so when you look at Mixon, I think he deserves a ton of credit because what he has a chance to do is go from really good player in Bengals history, someone that's talked about from 2017 to 2022. And that's it. Like when you look at history, he's obviously not going to hit the Corey Dillon level, not James Brooks. Mm-hmm. But wait a second. Maybe he does if he helps them win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as those two guys because he's not. Right. I'm not trying to be mean to.
No.
But you don't think this generation, if Joe Mixon goes out there and runs for 1,000 yards and makes plays in the playoffs and catches a bunch of passes and is a big reason why they advance in the playoffs and win their first Super Bowl, you don't think people are going to remember that? Of course they are. So he has a chance to go from really good player in team history to, by taking this deal, which it is better than what he would have gotten on the open market by far, I think.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. So it worked out for both sides, to potentially a Ring of Honor candidate because he was not that before. And now if you get to second in team history in rushing yards and you help them get to, let's just say you get to another Super Bowl. Well, now it's 2 AFC titles, second in team history in rushing yards. Like you could make the case. So I think his stature in Bengals history could dramatically change for the better because he took this deal. And I know that is ultimately he's thinking about rings. He's not thinking about his status in franchise history.
But it comes with.
I do think, no doubt, because can you imagine if he takes this and then goes out there, averages 4.4 behind Orlando Brown Jr., his former Oklahoma Sooners teammate, 4.4 per carry, and is super efficient on the ground. And
you're getting excited, James.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Oh,
because he has all the motivation in the world, and people like me all season have said he's either taking a pay cut or getting cut. He hears all that, and it happened. He took a pay cut, but there's no reason why he can't go out there and play at a really high level in this offense.
Absolutely. Now, do you think they will try to add another veteran running back on the back end, either one of the guys that's still out there or somebody that might get cut, toward the end of training camp? I would feel better if they would, just because you have a rookie and you have guys behind him who haven't done what Smarj did. Now maybe Mixon's more, he takes more snaps. You know, maybe that's the ball there. Maybe Brown comes out and plays great. I have no idea. But where are you at? Do you think they would be looking for maybe adding another veteran running back to that room?
I think they're open to it. I don't think it's going to happen before camp in a week.
Right.
And what they'll do is they'll open up camp. They'll look at what they have. And part of this is, I think Ezekiel Elliott still wants $3 million. Like, he's not taking league minimum yet or anything close to it.
He might have to.
Some of these other guys, no doubt, he might have to. And I think the Bengals, before they go that veteran route, obviously they wanted to get this Mixon deal either done or situation resolved one way or the other, and it went for the better for both sides, I would say. So now there's no pressure to add it back, and so they'll wait. Now, if they're uncomfortable with the pass protection element of this, then yes, I think they will. But I think we'll see Travion Williams get that first crack at it. Chris Evans is in the mix. Obviously, Chase Brown, the rookie's in the mix. It's a lot to ask a rookie to come in and pass block. I think from a running standpoint, he could come in right now and run.
Oh, yeah.
And so does Mixon take more pass blocking snaps? I think ideally that would work, either him or Chris Evans. Chris Evans is the best receiver of that group. He's such a great route runner, has great hands, is really fluid. But I don't know if they trust him as a pass blocker yet. So that's one of the big storylines to me. They haven't replaced Samaje Perine. Right. So can one of these guys in-house do it? Will they have to go outside and get one of these veterans? And there are plenty of – I mean, Leonard Fournette probably isn't going to cost much. You know, Kareem Hunt probably isn't going to cost much. You could go the same route with a lot of these guys. Zeke is probably the biggest name of the group, even a bigger name than Dalvin Cook. He's probably not going to cost much. Cook wants too much money. Yeah. And I think the fact that he's still out there is what made Joe Mixon look in the mirror like, man, look at his production, same draft class, and he's just out there. I don't want to be out there. I want to stay here.
Exactly. Now, we brought up Chris Evans, and I am a big Chris Evans fan. I'm hoping they actually use him this year because, you know, he's one of the guys that I think could be a very good weapon, and they haven't used him. I mean, we'll see, you know, what was the touchdown against, I think it was Kansas City, where he acted like the ball was stuck to his hand. You know, the year before that, he made the play against Detroit. So, I mean, we always have like one shining play that Chris Evans has made that we all can remember. Is him, what are you hearing? Is he not getting the playbook? Is he not, what is your opinion? Why is he not getting the playing time that us Bengals fans have kind of expected and kind of wanted to see?
Because from a running standpoint, I don't think he's refined enough for them. Okay. I don't think they trust is the wrong word, but like having him run between the tackles and make the right reads and pass protect and do all of the things that Samaje Perine was certainly capable of doing. I just don't think they're there with him yet, even though he's such a talented receiver and can move. And the first time I saw him during OTAs, it was the Jamar Chase draft. And I'm like, oh, that's what they got with Chris Evans? Oh, my goodness, that dude looks different. But
that's what I was thinking.
but he's not good enough to be a receiver. He's a running back. He's just a really good receiving back. So you have to do the running back elements of it. And I don't think that's been there. He certainly hasn't outperformed Travion Williams. So hopefully he's taken a step, because you could put him on kickoff returns. Yep. He's valuable on special teams. Obviously, I mentioned the receiving element of it. It would be ideal, I think, for Evans to emerge here in year 3. So we'll see. But overall, I think it's an uphill climb. I think he's 4th on the totem pole. I think you would, from a pass protecting standpoint, obviously Mixon will be in there some, but then Travion Williams will be the second back, and then the third back would be Chase Brown. That doesn't mean as a runner, that doesn't mean carries. I think Brown will have more carries than Travion Williams, but just overall pass protection. That could change. That's just my prediction now with a camp a week away.
Now we talk about the depth of the offensive line and talk about the running back. Let's get to your favorite position, wide receivers. We got Chuck Sizzle, we got Yoshi, we got Chase, we got Higgins, we got TB. I mean, is this the deepest wide receiver room in the NFL? I mean, is Chuck Sizzle going to be Chuck Sizzle? Is he going to be the kick returner we all want? I mean, what's your thoughts on the wide receiver room?
I wouldn't put him on kickoffs. I mean, maybe, I guess. I wouldn't. I would just keep him on punt returns
Okay.
and have him go there. It's two different elements.
Right.
I think that element, have him do punt returns and that's it. Now maybe they do kickoffs.
I pulled a James there. I meant punt return. I said kickoff. So
no, you're good. You're good. I'm just saying that I wouldn't.
Right.
That said, this receiver room is as deep as it's been in a long time. I mean, 2015 maybe you could go back to that, but the high end is even better. Like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck. And I think Charlie Jones is an instant plug and play backup for Tyler Boyd if you need him, if he gets dinged up or anything. And they play so many snaps. That's the thing with this offense. They're so reliant on 3 receivers that if one goes down, there's such a drop off. So to me, it's nice because I think Trenton Irwin showed that he can make plays, even though that last game in the AFC Championship game wasn't able to get open as much as I think the Bengals would have liked. But you have him. He's proven he's made some plays. Andre Yosavash developing. We'll see. I think he surprised some people. We'll see.
Yeah, is he a practice squad guy in your opinion, or that's what I thought when they first drafted him? And I've kind of gotten some clap back on that.
No, I don't. I think he'll make the roster. You know, I think if you expose him to waivers, that he would get picked up, and we'll see. But I would bet if I'll put it together a pre-training camp 53. As of now, he's on it, and obviously Charlie Jones, what he's going to bring is slot, just great route running, great hands, some explosion. I actually think he could play outside if they need him to. Part of it will be strength, and if he can get a strength up. But these two guys, the thing that I noticed a lot during OTAs is how hard they were working after practice.
Yes.
And that's great because they can feed off of one another, learn from each other. Obviously, Jones was more productive in a bigger conference, but both guys super productive last year. They're different types of players. And I would have Andre Yosavash just look at number 5, look at T. Higgins, and try to do what T. Higgins does. Not that he's going to be T. Higgins, but man, he's a great athlete. So why not have him emulate T. Higgins? And Charlie Jones, I would have him follow around Tyler Boyd and see where it goes. So no, I think this wide receiver room is really talented. We obviously didn't talk Trent Taylor fighting for a roster spot, Kwame Lassiter in year 2 fighting for a roster spot. So there are some guys in that room now that are kind of on notice, and that's going to be good because that means that they're really going to have to push and compete over the next month.
Exactly. Now, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but one quick question here before I let you go, it might not be a quick answer, but I had Corey Dillon on the show yesterday, and he had all the thing came out last week about the Ring of Honor and all that stuff. What is your opinion? I won't say necessarily the Ring of Honor, that we could leave that there, but why does he not get the consideration and not even considered for the Hall of Fame? Because I mean, he's got the numbers. He's broke records. He won a ring. Unfortunately, wasn't with the Bengals. But I mean, he's done everything that you should be able to do to at least be considered. He's not even getting mentioned as far as the Hall of Fame considerations. What's your thought on why is that?
So it's interesting. And when it comes to the Ring of Honor and Hall of Fame, I think over the past couple of years since the Bengals implemented the Ring of Honor, everyone assumes like, oh, well, this person's a shoo-in for the Ring of Honor because they should get Hall of Fame credit. Like Corey Dillon, to me, his Hall of Fame resume is better than Chad Johnson's.
Yeah.
But there is no way, though, that he should get into the Ring of Honor before Chad, right? In my opinion. I know that's going to bother some, especially with Corey's comments recently, which is fine. We can disagree. But they're two completely different things. And so, yeah, when I look at Corey Dillon's body of work, and he had a 1,600-plus yard season, and he was taking handoffs from Scott Mitchell against Denver on a 0-6 Bengals team.
Yeah, against number 1 defense.
Roughing up one of the top rushing defenses in the NFL and just gouging them. And a little, I was 9-year-old James Rapien was sitting on the 50-yard line with free tickets. Got lucky.
I was 25.
Tickets were easy. Tickets were easy to come by then. And my dad got 2 from work, and I happened to go to that game.
Good game to go to.
It was great. It was the best thing ever. Like, oh my God. And so I remember those moments from Corey. And so there's no doubt he's one of these elite running backs that would have put up even bigger numbers, honestly. And I went back and looked. The reason he retired, and kind of just went off after it was a mutual agreement to get released by the Patriots in 07 because they wanted to kind of platoon him with Lawrence Maroney at the time. And they had done that. And he was like, I'm going to go until the wheels fall off. I want to be like the bell cow type back if I'm going to do it. And then I think he kind of had second thoughts like, I'm actually pretty healthy right now and I got plenty of money but it's not like he had a year where he was averaging 3.4 a carry and was just done. A lot of these backs do that. And from 97 to 2007, he was really, really good high end back. So I don't know why. I don't know why he doesn't get the shine.
You got Bengalized.
Yeah, but you could have said the same with Andrew Whitworth, right? And then he went to the Rams and he was able to win a Super Bowl. And I think the difference is maybe in that market, the New England market, then. Now it's much different. Coverage is different after they won those 3 Super Bowls. The coverage of the Patriots is just they were so blue collar then, and how they played. They weren't flashy. It was a lot of handoffs and play action and defense. And so, like, if he ran 1,600 yards for the Patriots this year, it would have gotten way more run, I think, than it did then. But yeah, to me, he's one of those elite running backs that certainly gets overlooked, and I'm not sure why. Him and Fred Taylor are the two.
Yes,
really.
That's exactly who he mentioned. He mentioned that Fred on the show yesterday.
Did he? Yeah, those are the two because Cincinnati, Jacksonville. I don't know why. And me personally, you ask people in Jacksonville, they would take Fred. I would take Corey because I also think that Corey's attitude. Everyone will talk about Corey's attitude. You have attitudes when the culture stinks.
Yep.
A lot of people would. If you've ever worked into a bad place or a place with bad culture, it rubs off on everyone. And if you talk to players that played on those teams in the late 90s, early 2000s, pre-Marvin, that was an issue. You're the star in college. You get drafted. You go into playing for the Bengals, and it just sucks the energy out of you that you had, and you just go into this culture. Yeah. And so I think that happened to Corey a bit, but he was still productive, and that's the part of it where I don't get it because it certainly does get overlooked.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of Bengals fans are upset the way Corey left, but I mean, I felt for him. I understood because he was out there giving us all, and on the, like you just said, on these just horrible teams, it was just hard to get up for him, but he did it, and to do that with
the damage
they had, it was good.
Yeah, and the damage was done. I mean, I think that happened. If you go back and look, and we've seen it with Zach. Let's just use it with Zach. How many veterans are still on the team from the Marvin Lewis era?
None.
A couple, to Boyd's here. There's a couple.
Boyd's, yeah, you're right. Boyd, my bad. There's a couple, not many.
There's a couple, but it's not many. There's been a lot of turnover. That happened with Marvin too. There were a lot of guys that were on the team in 03 only, and then it was boom, 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 out of here. And that's part of setting a culture and a standard and kind of revamping things a bit. And they got better for it. No doubt. And they had Rudy Johnson, and trading Corey made sense. And it worked out for the Patriots too.
It worked out for Corey. He got a ring. So
it certainly worked out for Corey as well. And that's the part of it that stinks. If Chad had, just to compare the two, because they had similar tenures with the Bengals where it was like nearly a decade and then they end up in New England. And if Chad
got disgruntled too. So I mean,
no doubt. And that's the thing. So he ends up in New England and he didn't get the ring. If he had been productive there and got the ring, I would be making a Hall of Fame case for him. And I think there's like 2 years. He's missing like 2 years in that one win where he almost got it against the Giants. And with Corey, he did that. So I don't really see the issue. I don't see how he's not considered, but he isn't. And he should be. And I think that's where his beef should lie. I get it. He doesn't feel appreciated by the Bengals. They can't rush 15 guys into the ring. I know people want to do that. Yeah. I don't think that's reasonable because I want each guy to get their shine.
I agree with you on that. Now, I was at a graduation party this past weekend, and we were having that discussion. And somebody was saying that maybe they should do one every home game. I'm like, for one individual player, I'm like, that's an awful lot. I said, you could do that because there's a lot of guys that they need to get caught up with. My thing is, I think they need to at least have 4, 2 a year. I mean, we're going to be Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to be retired, and we still don't have everybody in my opinion, that should be in. So I do think 2 is a little two, not enough. I think 4 is about where they should be, and you can let the fans vote, and also maybe let the Ring of Honor members vote. Because we're starting to get people in there. Make them vote for at least one. What's your thought? You think should add 4? It should be 6, or what do you think they should do?
I would be fine with 4. I wouldn't want it to go too far,
Right?
Because again, like if Chad goes in this year, and Boomer goes in this year, and those were the 2 that I predicted, and we'll see. That's who I would have voted.
I'm hoping Lamar gets in. That's I like to get Lamar Parrish in. That's how, because
no doubt, and I get it. And that's the thing, like the backlog versus like which one are you debating? Well,
right.
Chad completely changed the way teams or the way the Bengals are viewed.
Yep.
And Boomer Esiason won an MVP. And I get it with Lamar, no doubt about it.
It's more of get him in before he's no longer here. That's my biggest thing with these guys.
And so you could make that argument with 4. I think that's probably the max, because I don't want a Chad Johnson, for example, and I know Ken's already in, but outshining a Ken Riley, because Ken deserves his moment too.
Right.
And in modern day, that's what would have happened if they were both elected in the same year. So it's a balance. So I'm just glad they have one, and that's where I find myself. I know a lot of people are complaining about the process. I'm just glad I'm not doing hypothetical Ring of Honors anymore.
Exactly.
And I did that in 2020. I did one before the 2020 season, and all of the guys that have been nominated were in it, and I think all of these guys will get in. It's just a matter of when, not if. So hopefully, Corey, it's soon. This year for me, it would be Boomer and Chad, and we'll see. I think we're going to hear about the Ring of Honor pretty soon. Yeah,
I would not be surprised to see Chad get in. I personally, I'm glad Isaac got in first before. It's just the older guys, because they should have already been in there. That's the part for me. So anyway, James, I won't keep you any longer. I appreciate you being on for 41 minutes. Tell everybody about Locked On Bengals, any articles or anything you want to promote before I let you go.
Training camp coverage is here, ready or not. Allbengals.com, the Locked On Bengals podcast daily, and Cincinnati Bengals Talk on YouTube.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you. I will see you next week. I'll wave at you from the bridge.
Sounds good. I appreciate you, Ice. Thanks for having me.
All right, James. See you, brother. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. James is a great dude. Make sure you go check him out on Locked On Bengals, on his All Bengals channel, or Cincy Bengals Talk. All Bengals is what he does on Sports Illustrated. So you guys know if you watch me, you know who James Rapien is. So like I said, I cannot wait till training camp next Wednesday. I will be there. Next Saturday, we'll be back together again. So you smell that? It smells like football, baby. I can't wait. All right, guys, that's the first of 2 shows today. And my second show is going to be live at normal time at 5:30. I got Richard Skinner on there. But let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. They're Houday Nation, Houday Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Radical Reds, the Ohio State Bucknuts. Then you can follow me, and the Ice Bar. And you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trenopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. I'll be pulling a sign off later on today. Putting on the podcast on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, you guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,275 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Please make sure you tweet it out, share it, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. We got a new one. It's Stitch. I don't even know what that is yet. Or what is that? There's another one that's out there that I haven't even got on yet. I heard about it, and I guess I gotta try to get on that one. But anyway, make sure you guys are out there supporting the show. Like I said, if you guys don't watch, I have no reason to do this show, so I appreciate you guys. Again, if you guys don't know about it, this Friday, I'll put this up here real quick. They are having Ted Karras, my boy Ted Karras, is going to be at Little Miami Brewery. The Brew Crew is going to be there with him. They're going to be selling Cincy hats. They will be doing these hats right here exclusively right there. Now, the visors and the bucket hats and stuff like that you can get exclusively this Friday at the Little Miami Brewery. Now, after that, they will be going on the website. But as far as I know, you can't buy them unless you are at Little Miami Brewing this Friday, starting at 4 o'clock. Ted will be there. He'll be signing autographs and having fun. Also, August, I think it's 12th. It's on the Brink Brewery website and all their social media stuff. We are doing the Jackpot Joey cornhole tournament. It'll be the night after the Packers preseason game. So if you guys are cornholers and want to play and get beat by me and Big Savage Greg, come check it out. The Jackpot Joey beer will be flowing. We'll be having a good time. So make sure you guys sign up there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. So I will see you guys later on today at 5:30. Like I said, Richard Skinner, Local 12 will be on, and we will be discussing the Reds slide. They have lost 6 in a row. What is going on? They actually got their offense going in the second game last night and still freaking lost. But throw a 2.5 out. A lot of baseball left. We'll see what happens. I will get Skinny's perspective on it there. So other than that, I'll see you guys at 5:30. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe right to the go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a Woozier. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it off to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my favorite money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.